Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. Do please, everybody, like and subscribe. It's down there. And comments, I like your comments, yeah. Oh, requests, yeah, I get requests all the time. Thank you very much for your requests. I mean, I do make an effort. It ain't very good, I know, but there we go. Just sing it as it is, yeah. Anyway, today I'm going to talk about how to control disturbances in prisons the old-fashioned way. Yeah, like when I was in the jails. Today we've got staff in there, and I'm sure that, listen, it's going to be a dangerous, dirty, horrible job at times. And, of course, you've got the threat of being injured, but it was always there. I'll tell you a little bit about an incident that I was involved in at Wormwood Scrubs, which involves a character who was a personal friend of mine, actually. I really like this guy, and you can read about him in my first book. He was called John C. I won't give you his full name because he may, possibly, if he's still alive, and I wouldn't want to embarrass the guy. He was a nice guy. Big fella, about 6'3", maybe a little bit bigger than that. Massive, great Irishman. We were on duty one day, and there was a disturbance in the hostel, which was a building just outside the front gates of Wormwood Scrubs. That was the place where long-term prisoners would go on the last 12 months of their sentence to try and be rehabilitated back into society by getting a job in the Greater London area and slowly rehabilitating themselves. So we were on duty one day on C Wing, and the alarm bells rang. Me and John were the first couple there. They said, right, disturbance in the hostel outside the gates, go for it. So me and John ran out, yeah, hung our keys up, put our keys down and ran out to the hostel. And in the hostel there was probably about 20 inmates in the hostel, yeah. 20 inmates in the hostel, and about half a dozen of them, maybe a little bit more than that, were battling away in the recreation room. It had a pool table, a television, radio, and seating, and they were battling away in the middle of the room. So me and John charge in, and I shouts out, and John shouts out, right, stop that at once, and he just bloody ignored us. So I said, we're going to do this, John, meaning go in and grab him. He said, no, don't, stay there. And he went over, this is God's honest truth, he went over to where the television set was. It was one of these 27-inch television sets at the time. Picked the television, ripped it off the wall where it was on a stand, and threw it into the middle of the pool table where it smashed to bits. Then he went over to the pool table, picked the pool table up, and threw that to the other end of the building. Well, I tell you, it stopped. Don't do that. Just you, John says to him, you started it. I tell you what, that stopped the disturbance. They stopped fighting immediately. That was one way of doing it. Other way I was doing it, I was on the landings with John, and I tell you, he was a mate of mine. I really liked John. He made me look sane. He was on duty one night in a hospital doing a bed watch. A prisoner was out in the thing, and John liked Guinness. I like Guinness, yeah, not as much as John did, yeah. So I don't know how many Guinnesses he's had before he went on duty to the hospital, and his job was to sit by the side of the bed and make sure that the inmate didn't cause any troubles or didn't try and escape. But John, who had taken on board quite a bit of Guinness, decided it got to be about midnight, I believe, and he must have thought to himself, why do this? So he took the pillows, off the inmate's bed, put them underneath the bed, and he handcuffed the prisoner to the bed board, to the railings round the bed, handcuffed him to that because he had the handcuffs with him. Then he got underneath the bed and went to sleep on the pillows. Anyway, I don't know how long he was asleep, but the ward's sister, who came and did a patrol every hour or whatever, saw him under the bed and woke him up and said, you can't do this. You're supposed to be guarding this prisoner. That's why you're here. So John, being John, said, right, if I'm awake, everybody's... He was a bit crazy, If I'm awake, everybody's awake. So he got up and started patrolling up and down the hospital ward, marching around like a bloody toy soldier, a giant toy soldier, believe me, banging his feet, about to turn, boom, boom, boom. Woke everybody in the ward up. The ward sister phoned the prison and said, you get somebody out here to replace this man, otherwise I'm calling the police. So anyway, they sent somebody to replace John. He was given a written warning for that. In the end, it just got too much. The last time I saw John on duty was when he was put in charge of the dustbins. And this is God's honest truth. He got the Category A inmates, the IRA inmates, to do the rounds with him. And he sat in the back of the truck with the dustbins, sat in the back with his hat on the back of his head, and the inmates towing the truck round the prison, picking up all the shit parcels. He looked like a deranged emperor. But in those days, there were real characters. And if it came to trouble, that's what you wanted beside you. Some big boy who could actually do it. I saw somebody arguing with John one day on the landings, and he had a trick. He used to whistle. As soon as he started to whistle, it get out the way because you knew what was coming. It was boom, and he hit this fella. And the fella collapsed on the floor. Collapsed. And John brought him round and said, are you all right? And the fella said, what happened? He said, you just collapsed. He collapsed all right. We were in Bow Street Magistrates Court. This is also told in my book, by the way, the first volume. And we were in the lockups, because Bow Street Magistrate Court, it's not there now, but it had old-fashioned cages, like bars, floor to ceiling. And we were in there producing an inmate for the magistrates' courts that day. And there was a great big giant black man in one of the cells, in one of the lockups, and he's rattling the cell and shouting at the policeman who was running the cells. It was a police sergeant, actually. I need to go for a piss, bastard, and all this, that, and the other. So the police sergeant went and unlocked him and said, all right, just go to the toilets down there. Instead of doing that, this giant, black, big, muscular guy, looked a bit like George Foreman, picked up this policeman by the throat like that, banged him against the wall and was throttling him. Well, me and John looked at each other. I said, right, I'll take the legs, you take the top. He said, no problem. We ran over there, and John said to the police officer, head to the left, Captain. And he went, boosh, hit this black bloke right on the jaw. The black bloke fell on the floor, and his legs started, like having a fit. He was completely and utterly out. Anyway, it took about 5 or 10 minutes to get this bloke round. And when he came round, the police sergeant said, I'm going to need a statement from you two. He said, about what happened there. I said, a statement? Yeah. I didn't see anything. Did you, John? Oh, I said, yeah. I saw him trying to strangle you, and then he fell to the floor. We don't know why. Do you, John? No, I didn't know why. The bloody police officer was trying to put the responsibility for banjoing this guy and saving his life, by the way, onto me and John. But that's what you needed. You really needed people like that. And you haven't got them now. I don't think the characters are there now. Tales from the Jails. I hope you enjoyed that little story. I know it's a Saturday, but I thought I'd do it. And I've had some requests. Thanks for your requests. I've picked one out to do today. So that's it. That's the song dinger, folks. And if you're liking this, share it on Facebook. Get me some viewers, you know. We should have thousands of viewers here, but we haven't. Anyway, it doesn't matter, does it? We'll do what we can with what we've got. I'm going to sing now one of the songs that was requested. Somebody requested I sing Edith Piaf's No Regrets, or Non Regrets. I'll not sing it in French, I'll sing it in English. Are you ready? I'll give you one more warning, just in case. That's really for Larry. I know he runs up the hills with his goat. Are you ready? No, no regrets. No, I will have no regrets. All the things that went wrong, for at last I have learned to be strong. No, no regrets. No, I will have no regrets. For the grief doesn't last. It is gone. I've forgotten the past. And the memories I had I no longer desire, both the good and the bad. I have flung in the fire, and I feel in my heart that the seed has been sown. It is something quite new. It's like nothing I've known. No, no regrets. No, I will have no regrets. And the things that went wrong, for at last I have learned to be strong. No, no regrets. No, I will have no regrets. For the seed that is new, it's the love that is growing for you. There you go. No regrets. I bet you have regrets for listening to it. But if you really liked it, Monday morning, Largactyl time. Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. Like and subscribe.